Hi, I'm the PC expert amateur, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Asus Tough Gaming TF120 ARGB fan. And this is what it looks like. And you may not be able to notice it while it's off, but the the, the fine texturing on this side and the glossy texture on this side, something about that combination gives a kind of a pearlescent appearance to the colors of the lights. So let's get those lights going so you can see that. I really hate these standard ARGB connectors. Always afraid to break those pins. So let's go ahead and turn it on a little bit so you can at least, hopefully you're getting a better view of this than I am, because on my screen it doesn't look very good. Okay. I think that's pretty good. Now, in the previous videos, I came to realize that the volume that you guys were hearing in the recordings was not representative of the fan. It was very, very quiet if you heard anything at all. And so I'm going to have to do a special recording of the fans that I've already reviewed. And then for this one, this will be the first one where I'm going to do it a better way, because this microphone is not a condenser microphone. I didn't want a condenser microphone because it would pick up too many extraneous noises. Unfortunately, this one just, I don't know. I don't know if I need software or hardware to be able to amplify the volume of this microphone, but it just seems to be kind of quiet. All right, so let's listen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the fan like this, perpendicular to the microphone, and that will allow it to capture the full range. I tried putting it like this, and that did not pick up enough of the sound of the fan. And again, this is going to be probably, for some people, it'll be quieter than what you'll hear in the case, and for other people it'll be louder than what you'll hear in the case. It just depends on a lot of different factors. I don't know if you're picking it up, but there is a bit of kind of a resonance that comes in and out. And there's one particular RPM, and I don't know what it is at this time, but where it becomes constant, and then as I increase the volume, it'll disappear too. Did you hear that? There it is. That's the RPM, where there's that constant kind of resonance noise. It's a kind of a low medium, kind of obnoxious if you had to listen to it all the time, I would suppose, if you could hear it from outside of your fan case. Okay, now we're on maximum RPMs, and let's compare that to the Noctua. I'm going to have to build a little frame to hold these for me. This is kind of awkward. And there are certain fans that I'm kind of afraid to hold it like this because some of the, a few of the fans, not many, but a few of the fans I have are powerful enough to take some flesh off of my fingers. I can hear the Noctua. That high-pitched noise is certainly loud. And there they go. I'm going to turn off the Asus. And that's the noise of the Noctua. And just to point out, there is no sleeving on the cables. So it's a powerful fan. And as long as you can deal with the noise, I think it's going to be a good choice for fans. Let's see, on your case, on your heatsink, not so much on a radiator though. Like the Noctua, it's a little bit too weak in static pressure to do a good job on a radiator. So I would not recommend it. I mean, you can do it. It's just not going to be giving you the optimal result. I really recommend static pressure exceeding 3 millimeters of water, which sounds weird when you're talking about a fan, not a boat propeller, but that's how it's measured. It's the pressure of the fan's wind pushing against a column of water in what's called a manometer. So let's, before we move on to the statistical section, I'd like to ask for your help. My goal with this channel is perhaps the same as some reviewers and testers, but not others, and which is to say, my goal is to help consumers. I certainly didn't have a great interest in fans before this, although it has been interesting to learn, and I'm still learning, always picking up new things, and so I'm doing this because I want to help consumers. Fans, as simple as they seem, are not simple, and it can be very confusing sometimes for some people when trying to decide what kind of fans to buy and where to put them and stuff. And so, you know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you have seen several of my videos about choosing fans, but I also want to help you to be able to decide which fans to choose based on what I'm doing right now. Now, this is only part one of my series. I will eventually release test videos as well that will encompass sound and bearing quality, airflow, and certain other things. But at this time, can't do that, so I'm starting out so at least you guys can see the inventory I've got, because I keep on talking about, oh, I've got 100, I've got 200, I've got 250, I've got 300, and you guys don't see anything on the channel. You haven't seen anything for 3/4 of a year now, and that was because I kept on running into problems with the equipment that I did choose. It was very hard to find an anemometer that I could rely on at all, and I still haven't found one that really meets my needs, but the one I've got right now is, yeah, I kind of got tired of buying, testing, and returning anemometers. It's kind of frustrating, and so it's eventually I hope to get a really good anemometer that will do what I need it to do and isn't going to just be junk. So the weird thing is some of the expensive anemometers. Well, not expensive. I mean, you can spend $1,000 on an anemometer, but the one one of the ones I bought that was like I think $300 or something like that was not particularly good. So and then the one I've got right now was like I don't know $30-$40, and that one's better than that expensive one that I got. So it's kind of frustrating. So if you can please help me out by helping me to build this channel, because I want to be able to provide information for consumers. I want to expand beyond fans and into air coolers, of which I've got about 9 right now, and water coolers, which I've got about 7, and thermal paste, which I've got, I don't know, maybe a dozen, 15, 20 different kinds of pastes and pads. I would really would like to be able to do more with this channel. Also, sometimes I do other stuff like cases and peripherals and things. And maybe I'll add other things. Either I'm going to have to do a lot of more research so I can do things like graphics cards and CPUs and SSDs and stuff, or I'm going to have to eventually have enough money coming in that I can hire somebody to do technical reviews of those things, because I don't feel comfortable reviewing them on a more than superficial level. And I rely on other reviewers like Gamers Nexus and Tom's Hardware, although sometimes I'm not happy with Tom's Hardware because some of their reviewers kind of stack the deck when they do their reviews. And other reviewers, there's a lot of other reviewers I have a great deal of respect for. Aris of Hardware Busters and, my gosh, what's his name? Lubo, who has been very supportive of me over at hardwarecooling.net. And there are some other websites and channels that I respect and love to see content from. I would like to see more content that's focused on creators. The only one that I know I'm aware of is TechNotice. And I don't like it when they do reviews of coolers because I don't feel they do it the right way. But I think that their creator content is very interesting and helpful. And who knows, maybe I could hire an expert in that field someday. But at this time, everything you will see on this channel is paid for by me and me only. I don't accept samples directly from a company, and if I do get them from a company because they decide to just send them to me, I will not use them for a review because it could be a golden sample. Some companies are honest and they'll send me just regular production product, and others will send me a golden sample, or, and this is on the other side of the spectrum, a prototype. And I don't want to review prototypes because prototypes may be really, really good or they may be really, really bad. And some companies will send out a golden sample and then they'll downgrade the quality of their components, and that will be marketed to the masses after the masses are really impressed with all the reviews that come out that are like, oh, this is amazing. And then you get it and you discover, nope, it's not as amazing as it was related to be, and that was because those reviewers were given the golden samples or the special prototypes that are designed with higher quality components, and I don't do that. The very best that a manufacturer can hope from me is to have an agreement that if I buy a product of theirs, I will review it. I will not be influenced by them. I will not change things if they don't care for it, unless they make a very valid point about something like if I made a mistake or something like that. And they can send me a reimbursement for the cost of the product, but I buy it from the source I want to buy it from. They don't get to choose, and they don't get to give me a golden sample. So to make it hard for them to stack the deck, to cheat, to manipulate my results. And so please, if you can like, subscribe, and share the videos you think are worth it. Let people know about my channel. Hopefully, we can build this up to something where I can start getting back the money I put into this, which is well over $6,000, and do better for you, the consumers, the people who are interested in making good choices in the areas that I will be dealing with. So I'm hoping you could do that. All right, let's move on to the statistics section. I just wanted to show there are two certifications that are in, I believe, Chinese. I can't read them. I can't tell what they say, but those are those two right there. I don't know if that's readable for you or not. If anybody knows what those mean, please put it in the comments. All right, so here is the Asus Tough Gaming TF120 ARGB fan, or you can also call it the TF120 A1R version A5. I think that's version. I don't know what else it would be. And this is a black fan with pearlescent white, which is just, it's a translucent pearlescent, I guess it would be more accurate than just saying pearlescent, because pearlescent can be opaque too. So it's translucent pearlescent white blades. Okay, and it's sold to, I got it for $12.99 or $13, and I got that on sale. It's not normally that price. It has a bunch of certifications: CE, EAC, TUV, SUD, UKCA, AEE, UL, or Underwriter Laboratories, ED516326, and a couple of Chinese ones that I can't read at all, have no idea what they say, but they were there listed with all of the other ones on the bottom of the box, and I'll just show you. I would like to show you, that is. Okay, this is made in Taiwan standard 120 by 25 measurements, 250,000 hours of lifespan. And it's an ARGB fan with weight of 150. Now, keep in mind the Noctua that I'm comparing with has no LEDs at all, and it has a lifespan in excess of 150,000 hours. But I will say that comparing the friction level the bearings, the Noctua is definitely superior, and the Asus is standard, which is interesting because of the type of bearings that the Asus claim to have. And the Asus fan is 50 grams less than the Noctua. It has 7 blades versus the 9 of the Noctua. Standard mounting hole distance, 1900 RPMs is the maximum, which is really interesting because of how loud that fan is. It's louder than the Noctua. There's a variance of 10%, 76 CFM, and that is the airflow versus Noctua at 102.1. 2.5 millimeters of water, which is better than the Noctua at 2.34. And the noise level is supposed to be 29. Now, I think that's probably fairly accurate. I think that the Noctua has been underrated as far as how much noise it produces, especially when you get one with that high-pitched tone that you might have heard in my recording. The power cable is 50.5 centimeters long. There's no daisy chain. There's no sleeving. The ARGB cable is 51 centimeters long, and there's no daisy chain, no sleeving. And the power cable is PWM, the LED cable is ARGB standard, and the bearing is advanced FDB, or fluid dynamic bearing. 12 volts with a minimum of 5, maximum of 13.2, 2.88 watts, 0.24 amps. Unfortunately, the only thing I can tell you about the LEDs is 5 volts. They didn't give the rest of the information. In fact, I inferred 5 volts because that's standard for ARGB. It has rotation and flow indicators, and it's a clockwise fan. It has 4 screws, and it has corner cushions, and it has, if you buy a 3-pack, there's a hub. I don't know if there's a remote in that or not. And that's it. So we are done here. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.